The perfect pick for the Cleveland Browns would be, Sean, who is it?
Abdul Carter. It's Abdul Carter because he is an impact athlete at the defensive end position and immediately gives a bad Browns offense hope. It gives them a shot. It gives the fan base life to think that this guy could be a 12 to 15 sack player in his rookie year. That's the only thing you need to get seats in the stands for week one. Everyone else do your jobs, prep around a good team outside of him and Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. Let those two freaks just wreak havoc. Abdul Carter is, for the Browns situation, the one dude that they could draft and probably not mess up. You could probably, if you're the Browns, just have Abdul Carter be Abdul Carter, and your defense is better for it, and you sell the jerseys, and everyone's happy, and you make an impact during this draft with your first-round pick. It's not going to be a project. He's not going to be a if guy. He's going to be a now production guy. He does need to be surrounded by a bunch of things. If Myles Garrett hadn't stayed with the Browns, I don't think my tone would have changed on this one bit, and I would still be saying 12 to 15 type sack guy, wide 9, keep him tight on a tackle. He's a guy that if you incorporate him in a stunt, I'm sure will be used properly. Use him like Micah Parsons. He can be that guy for the Browns. They should take him and run with him.
Yeah, Abdul Carter was my pick for this too. And this is something I've been saying for months now. And now that we're in this final lead up to the draft on Thursday, I'm rounding out the thought and I'm standing behind it. They have a very difficult path in the AFC North and the AFC to win playoff games. Obviously that they're in a way starting from scratch. They're trying to round out this roster, but they've got some good players on said roster. But in the AFC, with all the quarterbacks that you face, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, you have to deal with Josh Allen.
You got
if man, Justin Herbert.
You got CJ Stroud.
You have Josh Allen. You have CJ Stroud. I completely forgot about Justin Herbert there for a second. You have Patrick Mahomes. There are just so many difficult matchups that you see in the AFC. It is very lopsided in favor of the AFC of all the tough quarterbacks you have to face. And instead of trying to take a quarterback this year, taking Travis Hunter, who would be a great pick for your team, why not create the best pass rush in the NFL? Why not create a defense that is built to be overwhelmingly disruptive at the line of scrimmage? Sure, it's great to have a lockdown corner who could play some receiver, and it sounds like there is a belief from the Browns front office that Travis Hunter is actually more of a receiver than he is a corner. So then I would even sway even further, prioritizing defense, because you can do this. You can accomplish this. The best example of this being accomplished is the Minnesota Vikings this year, having an extremely well-coached and executed defense by Brian Flores, and Sam Darnold, who came in, who was supposed to be a backup for you and played better than expected because he had a great surrounding cast. All of these things, it was led by their defense. Look at some of the best teams in the NFL. They are led by their defensive success. And of course, some of those teams have great quarterbacks. But the way that you can, instead of play at the status quo and play catch up, try to level the playing field and go with a completely different approach, you go after those quarterbacks. You create havoc for those quarterbacks. None of those guys would be able to succeed on their backs, as we saw in all of these instances where any of these big name dudes were vanquished was because they faced teams that had really good defensive lines. So take Abdul Carter for the love of God.
I love it. I love what you're saying. I love that you're saying now Kenny Pickett is the next Sam Darnold. I love that even if
that did not come out of my mouth.
Big Kenny Pickett contract year 2026. If we're comping the Browns to last year's Vikings, I'm not sure there's much to say.
Wait. Hold on.
You're making me worried here that you're a Kenny Pickett truther.
No. Hold on a minute. Backtrack for 1 second. I'm not saying 2025 Browns are the Minnesota Vikings. I'm saying 2026 Browns team after you spend a little money next free agency and you have a really good draft class this year with all the potential defensive starters that you could pick in the first 4 rounds in a defensively loaded draft class, and then getting the gem, the belle of the ball of the group in Abdul Carter, then you see who's on the market next year.
Okay.
You see who's out there who you could go and grab.
Gotcha. You had me concerned for a moment.
No.
You had me concerned. I didn't know.
No.
I mean, you brought it. I didn't know if we even neaded to bring in Sam Darnold into that.
I'm just trying to come up with an example.
Maybe it's Flacco.
It could be Joe Flacco. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that Joe Flacco is going to get them to a Super Bowl, but 2 years ago, that team was unexpectedly good.
Yes.
Made it to the playoffs, couldn't win a game because Flacco wasn't good enough to beat the Texans, but they made it to the playoffs because of how good their defense was. You already have, quite literally, you have proof of it happening in your damn city with this damn team.
They could do it. They could. They won't, but adding Abdul Carter is a good start piece to at least have a competent defense. Like, it's just at least half of your team will be able to tread above water. And then the other half, figure it out. Maybe it is. Maybe Deshaun Watson has a great year and really.
Well, that's not happening.
Well, that's just.
I'm tired of talking about that pervert. I'm tired of talking about that pervert. Anti perverts on this show. No Deshaun Watson. No belief that he actually.